Hey everyone, it's Michelle. Welcome back to my channel. As a follow-up to my last skin update video, I thought in this one I would share with you all skincare routines for when starting out with Aczone and Differin. When I started these prescriptions over a year ago, the way that I curated my skincare routine, it's with the same concepts that I usually use, which I will get to in a second. But one of the biggest faults was that I was actually rotating way too many products, and when you are using a prescription like vitamin A, you do want to keep your routine as simple as possible. So the routines I'm about to show you are typically what I like to do when I want to keep my skincare as minimal as possible and use just the prescriptions as actives. And you'll also notice the products I'm featuring I've mentioned a handful of times in other videos. I've used these products for quite a while. I've repurchased a handful of them as well, and I also continue recommending them outside of YouTube and to my family and friends. All in all, I hope this video helps you out, especially if you do have acne-prone, normal to dry skin like I do. Before we get started, I want to do a refresher on my skincare pillars, the concept essentially behind how I curate my skincare routine, in which case the products might change, but the concept is always the same. So as you all know, my skin is acne-prone. I am around normal to dry right now, but my skin can get easily dehydrated if I don't do my skincare a certain way or if the environment in general is just really dry. So for my three skincare pillars, it is acne control, hydration, and barrier protection. For acne control, it's pretty straightforward. You prevent acne, you prevent the red marks that come with it, you prevent the potential texture like the old scars I have, you prevent uneven skin tone. The list just goes on as to why acne control is very important. The second skincare pillar is hydration. So like I said, I am normal to dry. I get dehydrated pretty easily. So for me, it's really important that I have that extra layer of hydration. Adding that extra hydration will give my skin that boost of water, and in turn, it'll create a nice even complexion. My skin will look a little bit smoother because all of the skin cells are filled with water. Also with hydrated skin, I find my pores look a lot better. Any red marks I do have heal just a little bit faster, and in the long run your skin will maintain a normal desquamation process, so the shedding process. And the last pillar is barrier protection. So there are two factors to this. The first one is to make sure I have a really nice occlusive layer on my skin. All the steps I did for the hydration process and replenishing my skin again, I want to make sure that it's all nice and sealed, and I really prevent that transepidermal water loss. And for the second point, it is sun protection. When you are using a prescription like Differin and your skin's thinning out, you're getting very flaky, it becomes very sensitive. So you want to make sure that you don't get any damage from the sun, and in general, sunscreen is always a staple in your skincare routine. All right, having said that, let's get into the skincare routine, and I'm first going to start off with my morning one. To start off this routine, I am going to cleanse my skin. Now for some people, you might not want to cleanse your skin, or you could just simply rinse your face with water. For me, because I use quite a bit of occlusive layers, especially at this time of year since it is winter, I do need to wash it off with a cleanser. I found when I was trying to apply any products on my skin without cleansing, it would start to pill up. So to prevent that, I am going to cleanse my skin. And the way I do that is by going in with a low pH cleanser. So I have these two in my collection right now. This is the CeraVe Hydrating Cleanser and the Bioderma CBM Purifying Cleansing Foaming Gel. Another really good low pH cleanser is the Dr. Sam's Flawless Cleanser. I just find all of these very basic. They don't disrupt my skin barrier too much, and my skin doesn't feel uncomfortably tight after I slightly pat dry my skin. Funny enough, in the first 3 months, the CeraVe Hydrating Cleanser actually started to sting my skin, and it doesn't do that anymore. So what I'm suspecting is that my skin barrier was compromised from using these prescriptions in the first 3 months. I know not a lot of people experience that, however, and again, my skin is used to using this again. So I am going to use this morning and save this for the evening. So I just wet my face right now, and I'm going to go in with the CeraVe Hydrating Cleanser. I'm going to cleanse it for maybe around 20 to 30 seconds, and that's it. There's not much to take off other than last night's moisturizer mixed with some CeraVe Baby Healing Ointment. And while cleansing, you might want to concentrate on the areas that feel particularly flaky. So for me, it's like right in this corner of my nose. Alright, and now I'm going to rinse this off with a handful of splashes. Now I'm going to take my face towel and pat the excess water. And as you can see, this is a face towel that's been damaged by benzoyl peroxide. This is from the face wash, by the way. So lesson learned, you still need to use a white towel, even with a benzoyl peroxide wash. With my skin still slightly damp, I'm going to go in with a hydrator, and that's going to be my Huda Labo Premium Lotion. Another one that I really like to use is the Perfect Gel. This is the refill packet, and I just haven't bothered to put it in a jar. So all right, now taking some of that hydrator, I'm going to quickly massage it onto my face. I don't want my skin completely drying up. So until this gets maybe a little bit tackier, I will go in with the Aczone gel. At first I was confused whether or not I should use this straight away after cleansing, but for me personally, because my skin gets so uncomfortably dry if I don't follow up with a hydrator right away, I just decided to stick with that. And then once it gets tacky, go in with the Aczone gel. I'm just gonna apply a thin layer of the Aczone gel all over my face. I know my dermatologist said to just apply to the more active lesion areas, so like my chin, but I find I get random breakouts everywhere, not just my chin. And also this is supposed to be good for helping with blackheads and whiteheads, and those can pop up anywhere on my face, right? So I just put a thin layer of this everywhere. So I start off in my T-zone, now I'm gonna go onto my cheeks. And for this one, I'm avoiding the eye area. Another good thing about Aczone is that you can actually put it anywhere on your body where you're breaking out, so you could even put on your back or chest too. So I'm on my neck here because I still break out in this area for some reason. Okay, and now I'm gonna wash my hands. Just because you don't want the prescription to be lingering on your hands, and I'm going to be going in with the hydrator again and moisturizer all around my eyes. So I'm actually going to go in with the hydrator again. It's winter, so this time of year I need all the extra layers. And just so you know, the Aczone already dried down and my face doesn't feel tacky or feels like it's fresh with product on it. And obviously the reason you want to wait is because you don't want to be moving around the prescription too much when you're applying another layer of the hydrator. Just be a bit careful around your eyes as well. And make sure you're not aggressively rubbing it. I'm like making sure it's lightly moving across my face first. Next up is moisturizing. So when I first actually curated this routine, I was using the Aven Skin Recovery Cream Rich version as my moisturizer, and it was really good. It was really nice and gentle, but I personally found that it wasn't moisturizing enough. And that's when I did have to go in with the CeraVe Baby Healing Ointment for a more occlusive feel to the skin. Also, it's 50 mils and it's around $30, whereas getting this size right here, the Bioderma Atoderm Intensive Balm, it was around the same price. So I'm going to take one pump of this, and I'm also going to take a smidgen of the Baby CeraVe Healing Ointment. So that. And this is what my hand looks like right now. So I'm going to mix all of these together and apply it all over my face and neck. Alright, it's been a couple of minutes, so I'm finally going to go in with a layer of SPF. And surprise, surprise, it is the Can Make Mermaid Skin UV Gel. Now the reason I choose this one in particular is because it's a mix of both physical and the newer photostable chemical filters. It is SPF 50 plus with a PA 4 plus. It also doesn't have alcohol or fragrance in it, so there's nothing in this that could potentially sensitize my skin. And I find with the newer, more modern photostable filters, it actually doesn't irritate my skin at all. Also with this sunscreen in particular, I can comfortably put a good layer of it on without feeling super congested or greasy. And on top of that, my skin feels very calm when I use this SPF. It doesn't feel like anything is stinging. It actually just makes it feel nice and comfortable. So I'm going to take a generous amount and apply it to my face and neck. Now I'm just going to lightly glide this all over my face, not rub it in too aggressively. And this one doesn't sting my eyes either, so that's definitely a bonus. You'll kind of notice it looks like there is a little bit of a cast at first, like my face looks pretty white right now. And there is zinc oxide and titanium dioxide in the sunscreen, but I do find once you let it sit for the 10-15 minutes and let it do its thing at creating that UV film on your skin, it does go away. All right, the SPF looks like it blended in nicely, and that is pretty much it for this morning routine. So next I'll be showing you my evening routine. And for the most part, the products are the same. If anything, in the first 3 months, I wasn't using Aczone at night. I was just using Differin. So I'll be showing you that. And also, I'm not going to be using the SPF. Instead, at the beginning of the routine, I'll be using a cleansing oil. So yeah, that's that for this morning routine, and I will see you all in a bit. Hello everyone, it is nighttime, so I'm about to do the nighttime skincare routine. And even though I'm not wearing makeup right now, I still like doing a double cleanse just to ensure that I properly remove a day's face. So I have two products here I recommend. The first one is the Huddle Bow Cleansing Oil, and this one is the Curel Makeup Cleansing Gel. Both of these have a lot of product. They are actually fairly affordable as well. And I also find I don't need to use a lot of product to efficiently melt down my makeup. For today's video, I'm going to go with the Huddle Bow Cleansing Oil just because I find that this one is more easily accessible to most people. So I'm going to take a pump and just massage on my face. Just like how I was cleansing in my morning routine, I'm just gonna massage this into my face for maybe around 20 seconds, and then I'm gonna wet my hands and emulsify. And what I noticed with the cleansing oil, and I'm sure a bunch of you have noticed as well, is that when you're massaging your face, you do pick up a little bit of grit from your skin. And I found that when you're starting prescription and you're getting all the flakiness and stuff, this was just a nice way to lightly ball up the product without irritating your face with any actual scrubs or chemical exfoliants. I don't know, is that just me? Does anyone else enjoy it, by the way? I kind of do. All right, now I'm gonna wet my hands and emulsify the oil. And this just really helps to make sure that we can actually remove the oil from our face and there's no residue. And again, just massage for another 20 to 30 seconds. Usually I would wet my hands a little bit more, but I'm trying to stand in a certain angle for the camera. Now I'm going to rinse my face and then go in with a water-based cleanser. Alright, so in the morning routine, I use the CeraVe Hydrating Cleanser, and then this one I'm going to be using the Bioderma one. I took a pump of it, by the way. And the reason why you want to use a water-based cleanser next is just to ensure that all of that oil cleanser is removed. And personally, I found that when I first started doing a double cleanse, it was literally like the first step into clearing up my face because I definitely wasn't removing my makeup properly. Can't talk, soap's getting in my mouth. And as I mentioned, this is also pH balanced. I believe it's around a 5.5. And even though it's foaming, I actually find this doesn't dry out my skin at all. Always remember to bring it down to your neck. I put SPF there earlier on, if you remember. And then typically a lot of people bring their foundation down to their neck as well and put other products there. So you want to make sure you get your neck. All right, that is enough cleansing, and I'm going to rinse my face again. And with another bleached face towel from benzoyl peroxide, I'm going to lightly dry my face, just get rid of the excess water. This was the first victim, by the way. And just like the morning, before my face completely dries out, I'm going to go in with a hydrator, which is the Huddle Bow Premium Lotion. I have a refill of this, by the way, and I kept the bottle for this purpose. Now it's at this step that I actually apply Differin. Before the 0.3% adapalene, I was using 0.1%. And if you watched my skincare routine from 2018, you'll notice that I was applying that after moisturizer when I first started using it. So that's how I would recommend using it if this is your first time using this prescription. For me, because I have been using it for over a year, I've acclimated to it and I'm able to use it very comfortably after this step. And I'll be honest, the first few times that I applied Differin, I noticed right away how fast it dried up my skin. And again, just like Aczone in the morning, I'm just applying thin layers all across my face. And here's another thing. I personally put this around my eyes. You as a beginner should not do this. All the experts tell us not to put it around your eyes because you can definitely get some issues from that. However, as a random person on the internet who's been using this for over a year now and just Differin in general for like a year and a half, I'll put it around my eyes. But for the sake of this video, just to really emphasize the point that you should not put it around your eyes, I won't do it tonight. And just to reiterate again, in the first 2 to 3 weeks, I was only using Aczone in the morning because I never used this prescription before. But now that I'm used to it, I'm going to use it right away after Differin. And this is 5% Dapsone, by the way. It is not 7%. I think with the 7% one, it is recommended to only use it once a day, whereas with the 5%, you are able to use it twice a day. Rinsing my hands again. And same as the morning, once all the prescriptions have dried down pretty well, I'm gonna go in with the hydrator one more time, because like I said, when you have dry skin, layering is great. And for the last steps, I'm going to go in with these two products again, but instead of mixing them together, I'm going to apply them separately. So once again, a pump of the Bioderma Atoderm Intensive Balm. And the reason why I'm going in with them separately is because I want a nice layer of the CeraVe Healing Ointment on its own. Also, I find by going in with a separate occlusive like this, especially when you're experiencing severe dryness, it is a true relief. If you watch my tried and true how I repaired my dry and dehydrated skin video, I did mention that using an occlusive on its own really helped relieve the severe dryness I was feeling from using prescriptions. My skin isn't as dry as that anymore. Even with just the 1 pump of moisturizer, my skin feels really good. But it's snowing outside right now. It's winter. My humidifier is empty. So I just want to have that extra layer of occlusivity on my skin just to deter any potential dryness. I realized I forgot to show you what the size of it was, but it was like a small pea-size amount, and now I'm just spreading that all over my face and neck. You really don't need a lot when you're using that type of product, and I don't think you'd want to use that much petrolatum anyways, because yeah, as you can see, it's pretty shiny with just that pea size. And that is it for the skincare routine. Once again, I do hope you found it helpful and informative. Before we close off, I just want to say there are some products in here I know that some of you might not need. An example being the cleansing oil and the hydrator. If you're someone who just doesn't wear makeup and you're just wearing SPF for the day, you can just use a cleanser twice. I personally am on the bandwagon of oil cleansing. I've been doing it for almost 10 years at this point, so I'm a huge advocate of it. So I do recommend going in with one of these products first to ensure a very thorough cleanse. Same with hydrator. Some of you might not find it a necessary step, but for me and my skin type, it definitely has made a world of a difference. If I don't use it, my skin looks a lot more dull and lackluster. And as for the prescriptions, just to reiterate, I only used this in the morning for the first 2 to 3 weeks because I've never used this prescription before. So I wanted to make sure my skin was okay with it on its own. And in the evening, that's when I would use Differin. When I first started using Differin, I used it after moisturizer. Now that my skin's used to it, I apply it on my face after the first layer of hydrators, and then I follow up with Aczone as well. And that is it for this video. If you did enjoy it, please be sure to give it a like, subscribe to my channel down below for future videos, leave a comment if you have any questions or recommendations, and I will see you all soon. Ciao.